Hi, people. We're not live yet. We're almost live. We're going live. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
You want to chit chat for a little bit?
Sure. I could probably talk to you forever.
Who are you? Well, first of all, we need a little bit of an introduction here. Kim is absolutely one of the people on this planet that sparks the most joy for me. I don't know you
Stop.
very well, but I know you really well. I know that you're one of those people that I could pick up the phone morning, noon, night, in the middle of the night, and you'd be like, Jody, I've got you.
Yes.
I
And the camera goes.
also know that you love chiropractic as much as I do.
I do.
I also know that you are laser beam focused like I am, but you play hard. So please introduce to all of the people watching, who are you? Where are you? What do you do? Why do you do it? Give it to us.
Sure. How long do you have? I'm Dr. Kim. I'm a second generation chiropractor, and I believe that all you need is the power of your hands to make the world a healthier place. My favorite patient is a 4-hour-old baby because if I wanted the best chance at health, that's when I would get adjusted. By adjusting them, the brain talks to the body, and the body is healthier. It heals better and functions better, period. We need no interventions. I grew up not fully vaccinated. We never wore masks. I like to give a middle finger to the man. I've got a big set of balls, they say, but I am a girl and watch me do it. I love to practice the specific art of Gonstead when I can. I don't do that with 4-hour-old babies, but to put someone in a chair and rock their cervical spine fills up my cup really well. I speak all over the country because I got loud when I was like, where can I go and ask a question? Because what's happening in our country is not okay in this land of the free and home of the brave. And where are the brave was my big question. So I just live my everyday on purpose and use every moment I'm given and every opportunity I can find to align with my divine assignment of changing the world, the health of the world with chiropractic and natural health care.
Wow. So what did you say? All you need is the power of what?
The power that's in your hands to walk in a room and make the world a healthier place.
Isn't
Like
that
you
cool?
Yeah, like we don't need anything. My accountant's always like, Kim, you want to go buy some stuff this year? And I'm like, dude, I don't have needles and knives. I don't have sterile everything. I don't need much. I'm a chiropractor. It's natural. I walk in with only my hands and people get better.
Um, why does a baby need to get better?
Well, if you've ever seen a baby be born, it might be quite obvious where the next like, any sudden shift, like in a car accident, any sudden shift in the spine can cause a misalignment, of course. When that puts pressure on a nerve, us nerds call it a subluxation, and that makes you unhealthy. That makes dis-ease. That makes you diseased. That makes you sick. So if your brain cannot talk to your body, you are not as healthy as you could be. And that sometimes starts with birth. I guess I could assume, I don't really know, that it might start in utero, when a baby is breech and uncomfortable, or if interventions were used and they were flown out of the uterus too fast, perhaps that's when the subluxation starts. I like adjusting the mom before she gets pregnant. I like adjusting the mom when she's 4 hours old, but I wasn't a chiropractor back then. But I think the best chance at health happens the sooner you get checked by a chiropractor.
And if I love everything that you're saying, and I want to unpack all of it, and I'm totally aware that there are people listening to this podcast who are in a completely different paradigm, where they would say, I wouldn't let a chiropractor touch my baby if my life depended on it.
Mm.
That's not my paradigm, right? The first thing we did was here, adjust and make sure everything is good. I guess I want to unpack that a little bit for people who don't hang out in this reality much, who do things differently from the way that the people the circles we hang in. Where do they start? Like, how do they know who to call, what to do when it comes to finding or learning about chiropractic for kids, for pregnancy, for families, for
Yeah.
zebras?
I mean, that was a long question. So lots of answers. Like,
You
what's
want me to ask
popular?
you 3 more?
What's popular is not always right, and what's right is not always popular. Um, I grew up very healthy. My brothers and I grew up very healthy. We were not vaccinated. We went to the chiropractor all the time. The proof is in the pudding. My children, they don't get vaccinated. They never wore a mask, and they get adjusted all the time. My oldest, when she was in sixth grade, got the smartest girl award, and the person who got second, both of his parents are chiropractors, and they choose and don't choose similar to us. And she is my, I have her permission to say that. So for my science experiment of my life, it's like, well, duh, that's the way to be healthy. But for someone who's never heard about it, if you watch a baby get adjusted, I've got videos on my Facebook page all over the place. It's gentle. It's typically not sound filled. It's a smooth dance, I guess, that I do when I snuggle up with a little baby, and I like to just throw it at people. Let me show you. Okay. So, like, for a kid to grow up without an ear infection is possible. For a baby to sleep all night long at 5 months old is possible. Sometimes you hear in a restaurant a toddler just being crazy. Like, maybe you don't know, maybe your kid's not sick, maybe your kid doesn't have a problem, but how do you know that their attitude, their mood, their mental clarity, their focus, their sleeping, their bathroom habits, their state of being, you don't know how great it can be if you've never taken them to a chiropractor. Honestly, your child is not as healthy as they could be if you haven't. So to learn about it, I guess you could, a lot of times it's online in a mom's group or something, but if you can find someone who's been to a chiropractor and it's helped them, maybe that will make you feel like, oh, maybe there is something to it. But more so if you go to a chiropractor who loves adjusting babies and who does it all the time, you can see the comfortability of the doctor with your child,
Mhm.
and then you could say, oh, wow, it looks like they do this a lot to make you feel comfortable. And sometimes chiropractors will let you just come talk to them if you don't feel comfortable. But my website, drkimthor.com, talks a lot about babies and chiropractic, but a lot of research is out there. Really, though, if you try it and you go to the right one, you'll see the results.
How do you go to the right one?
Yeah, that's a really good question. It's not all about, social media, but if you Google the Facebook pages, for example, in my state here in Nebraska, I have like 4,000 likes on my business Facebook page, which is pretty good. And if you compare it to all the chiropractors in Nebraska, let alone just my little small town, it's really good.
Like
And
a
a lot of
mistake, you guys just reach out to me and I'll find you a chiropractor.
Yeah, that too. But that's something. You won't have a ton of likes on a business Facebook page if they don't know what they're doing. And also Google reviews. Whenever a patient has like a miracle, which is just chiropractic, every day. But when someone has what they call a miracle, I recommend that they leave a Google review because people usually only do it if it's really good or really bad, and people read them. And so if you read enough positive Google reviews, maybe you'll just agree to take your
Let me
patient.
ask you this, because I'm thinking for the new docs or the docs who are in school, and whether you're a chiro, a PT, an ND, whatever your craft is, this question is for Kim's brain. How do you get good? How do you? I didn't know what I was doing when I started my practice. I
Yeah.
thought I did. Right now, I'm 25 years in, and I'm sure I don't know what I'm doing. Right? How do you get good? How does that happen? And how do you know if you walk into a naturopath's office that they're good?
If there's a lot of people in the parking lot and in the lobby, much like when you go
Right?
on vacation and you look at the restaurant and you see if there's lots of cars in the parking lot or if there's crickets. That's step one. Also, when I take my kids to a doctor, I like the doctor to talk to the child, not at the child. I like the doctor to also talk to me to keep me informed, but my child is their patient. And so, me as a mother, I like to
Love
see a
that.
doctor connect to them and feel comfortable talking to children. Also, the results. If you've heard that this doctor adjusts babies and or whatever doctor you are, and the results are like, whoa, they slept all night. Whoa, they never had an ear infection again. I mean, those are things that I hear after 15 years with people. I hear things like, wow, we don't get sick anymore. I know you're expensive, Kim, but we save a lot of money because I never have to go to the doctor. We don't have to go to the hospital. I don't need prescriptions because I'm just better. So sometimes the results let you know that it's the right place.
Our brother in craft, Dr. Danny Knowles, is giving you a thumbs up, which I think is ridiculously cool.
Hi, dude.
You seem to be a little bit passionate about chiropractic. Do you
Just
ever
a
have a
little.
crappy day? Do you ever wake up and feel like I just don't feel like it?
You know, it's probably the cheerleader in me that's like,
Okay, Kim, give it to us. Come on. Come on.
so there's this silly video of like this 4-year-old girl, and in the morning she's like, I love my whole house. My whole house is great. I can do anything good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, I can't help it. In my subconscious is this little thing where when something's bugging me and I can put my finger on it, it's like, well, fuck that. I've got to change the world. Let's fucking go. Or if I'm just like in a bad mood, I'm almost like the negator of myself of sorts. And in the mirror, I can't even help it. I'm brushing my teeth because I do that every day. And I look at myself when I brush my teeth because I do it every day. And it's like I hear this voice that's like, come on, Kim, step the fuck up. We got work to do. You know,
I
like
don't
those
know
are
if we're
voices.
allowed to curse on social media.
Oh, yeah. Well, they can bleep it out and have a great day, Jody. I don't ask for permission, I ask for forgiveness. But it's just a part of me that has been ingrained in the last however many years that it's been forming to pick myself up because nobody else is going to do it for you. And so, like the chiropractors that I coach, we talk about that 5 minutes or however long you have in the mirror in the morning. Those thoughts matter. And if you're too tired to actually have conscious thought, go to bed earlier and take better care of yourself because it really does matter. But if you're on purpose, and I know that all I have to do is touch someone in the right way for their body to heal, like that's so empowering. I don't ever take it for granted.
I have chills. I'm a little nervous, but I have chills. Um, do you have staff? Yeah.
Yeah.
How's that?
I love it. You know, whenever it trims and gets a little smaller, I feel an upgrade, which is weird. Like at one time, I had people coming in and doing all natural IVs. I had people coming in and doing mental health, estheticians, lots of massage therapists. And now I'm interviewing another chiropractor because that's what I want. And I have my office manager, and we have a chiropractic assistant and one massage therapist. And so whenever someone, falls off or I get a new one, it always feels like an upgrade. But the office manager I've had for 3 years, Jody, I kind of forget where things are at. I forget how to do some stuff because I've delegated well. And like literally, I am not good at wrapping Christmas presents. If it's like kind of a slow half an hour, I'll be like, hey, do you want to wrap these for me quick? Because I know her skills, like painting a wall and taking the time to figure out something, are sometimes not the skills that I have. And so if I can delegate well, it's good. And I like massage therapy because it helps my adjustments stay longer, helps them hold my adjustment better, makes it more stable because it gets more relaxed. So I feel like when we all work together, it's awesome.
How did you get good at that? How did you learn how to find balance with that?
Yeah, like in the beginning, it was just me and I did everything when I started my own practice 10 years ago. So for 5, 6 years, I took insurance. Then I was like, that's ridiculous. So now I just take cash and I'm expensive. And so, and so at first it was like, wow, this is a lot. And then I got busy enough that the phone needed answered. I didn't like touching the money because I wanted to focus on making them better. And so I would have someone come during my busy hours. And then I realized that I really just want to kind of clone myself without cloning myself. And so I gave the words I would use. I wrote down the way I did things, and it just gets refined over the 10 years I've had my own practice now. But little bits over time. I guess I've always kind of been a boss, is what they say, like, hello, here I am, kind of a thing. So that part wasn't hard for me, but letting people have responsibility because I feel like usually I can do it all better myself was hard. That was the hardest part. But trust takes time, and now my office manager does so much. I let it go, which is lovely.
You you say unforgivingly that you're expensive. Did you start out with that freedom, or was that something that you had to learn?
Well, I don't like to speak negatively. So, how do I say this? I realized I'm pretty dang good at this.
Uh-huh. At
And I took,
chiropractic.
yeah, and I
Uh-huh.
took I worked with other chiropractors for 6 years and realized that the lobby was full for me. So that was very fun. So that gave me a confidence of, oh wow, I could stop taking insurance and rock it still. And like I could charge whatever I wanted because the line's out the door pretty much. And so when I first started my cash practice, I knew I couldn't take everybody who came in and used their insurance. So I wasn't as expensive 10 years ago. And then every year it just kind of goes up and up and up and up and up.
So you unforgivingly say, I'm expensive. And when I hear that, I think, sign me up. Because like we just had this conversation, right? I'm not going to stay at a Days Inn. I'm going to stay at the Ritz-Carlton because I know that if I invest the money, I'm buying into an experience, right?
Yeah.
That is going to be, I'm giving money, which is energy, and I'm getting energy in exchange that, you guys, I'm going there, that vibrates at a frequency that I'm comfortable with. I'm not comfortable with my exchange of energy if it's less. That's true for my chiropractor, my purse, my car, and quite frankly, if I can't afford it, I'm not going to get the cheaper version because I won't be happy with it because I know that that's true about me. So that's just the reality, right? And I think that part of that for me, it's interesting. My father passed 2 days ago.
Oh,
And
honey.
yeah, and this was his teaching. He would get the best cars. We would go to the best hotels. We would wear the best shoes. I asked him for a backpack for high school when I was a kid. I would see him like once a year and he would buy me the thing. When I saw him, we would go shopping. I said, I need a backpack for school. I think I was probably in 9th grade. And he bought me like a $500 Dooney and Bourke backpack. Right. So that was just the way, that's where he set the bar. And I happen to have that on both sides of my family. I had that from my dad and I had it from my grandmother too on my mom's side. So I was born learning that taste or that preference choice. So when I make plans with a friend and they're like, yeah, we'll get an Airbnb somewhere, I'm like, no. I'm not going to go unless, and Courtney Gowan and I have this conversation all the time because she takes chiropractors on these amazing CE experiences. And I'm like, I will not sleep in a tent. If there's a Ritz-Carlton, I will go. Right.
Yeah.
So I guess I want to go back to the question. How do you set your flag in the ground? Even from the start, I give you permission if you are in school to set the bar where you want the bar, right? How do we teach our colleagues, our students, that the bar is yours to set? You don't have to be the cheapest ticket in town. You can aim here if that's innately where you feel that you need to be in your shoes. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, I think it starts with defining a target audience. Like my favorite is a 4-hour-old baby whose parents can afford my care, whose parents have the time and the energy and the love to take great care of that baby.
Okay, wait a second. I'm going to spit questions. What is the mom reading right now?
Oh God, I don't know, Jody. I ain't got time to define it that well, girl.
You don't go there, Kim.
No, because if you can afford my care and you have a 4-hour-old baby, I'm going to change your life so much. Let's go. That's all I need. So like I'm starting a second office. We open in 2 weeks in a week and a half on a Tuesday. Okay. So I have to somehow tell social media for my new business. It feels like I'm starting a new one, really, like a baby business all over again. But now I have the confidence to be like, here we go. So I have to say to the world on that specific social media platform that I don't take insurance and that I am expensive. So if I did it like this, so I don't take insurance, but
Right.
we can give you, a receipt and you can try to submit it yourself, but, and we'll have a discount on Fridays. What kind of person is going to walk in my door? If I were to make something that said, hey, everybody, I'm Dr. Kim. I've been a chiropractor for 15 years. I don't take health insurance because I'm done playing their games, but we do take health savings, cash, check, and credit card. So call me soon. And it's expensive because you'll see the proof is in the pudding. Then they'll be like, oh, wow, she really knows what she's doing. And then by doing that, I'm attracting the target audience I want. I'm attracting someone who will take great care of their kids. They won't come in all snot nose. They may realize that they don't have to say yes to all the things. They might have healthier kids because they can take great care. That's the patient I want to have the best chance at health.
I love your conviction. I envy it. I envy your ability to own the uniqueness of your stance. And I wish that more of us had that ability, especially the leaders in all of the wellness industries that I'm becoming more and more familiar with. I want to go here. Give
Uh-oh.
me a typical day. Like you wake up
Oh,
at what time and then you do what?
yeah, my middle child likes to wake up at 5:55, and I am not a morning person, and I love my children. So my middle one wakes me up at about 6:02 because she has a schedule, I don't know where she gets it, where she has to organize her room before she can do anything else. So
Wow.
she wakes up at 5:55 and organizes her room and wakes me up at about 6:02. Mom, can you start my shower? And I get hugs and I get out of my bed. I have to stretch because I'm 42 and a half now. But, there was a time I didn't do that
Wow.
part. So I stretch a little and then I get up and I start her shower around 6:05. And on the
You
way, I give
stretch
hugs and
before, wait a second. You stretch before you get out of bed, or you get out of bed and then you stretch?
both all at the same time. If I need to sit and do it, I do it. If I need to,
You might
to
fall a little bit.
if I've been to yoga, I'm probably okay. If I skipped one class, I need a little, that's where I'm at. So she can start her own shower if she can set her own alarm and clean up her room, right? But she wants mom to do it. And in turn, I'm going to steal some snuggles on the way. And I don't take that for granted. So I get up and I start her shower. The other one wakes up. I make peanut butter and jellies. The baby sleeps in because we like to play at nighttime. So I keep her up late. And so the little baby is almost 4. And she sleeps in, and my husband stays at home. So then, after peanut butter and jellies, I take the big ones to school, and then I come home and shower. So it's like, I need to be awake enough to drive a car. So
They have peanut butter and jelly every morning.
no, when I make them, that's what they have. The big one
Okay.
goes to high school now, so she eats lunch there sometimes. But that typically, I'm making at least one peanut butter and jelly in the mornings, all natural,
Such a good
everything, of course.
combination. Yeah, 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 of course.
Yes. Yes. And then I take him to school and then I take a shower and get ready. And in the mirror, I'm like, let's go. And then hopefully I can sneak out before the baby wakes up, is kind of how I like to do it. Otherwise, she loves me so much. There's a mom, don't go. I don't want dad today. I want you. And it's love, but it just makes my ears hurt because I just want to then not go to work, but I have to because I'm on a mission. And so that's kind of hard. So I try to sneak out before she's awake and I get some coffee on the way to the office because one day I was like, it'd be really cool to have drive-through coffee on my way to work. And now there's drive-through coffee on my way to work, which is really cool. So I get a drive-through coffee on my way to work. And my assistant's always here before me. And I usually sit down at my computer and put my makeup on and feel like I'm in hair and makeup because I used to be on a stage in high school and I loved it. And so it prepares me. It also kind of works my sinuses out, I've realized too, when I put makeup on. It's like a facial massage. And then I hear a door shut, and that means let's go. And then I have a morning of patience. It's like a marathon. Then either I go to the satellite office now, or I go to yoga, or I go have lunch with my 3-year-old and do puzzles. And then she cries when I go back to work for my afternoon shift. And then at nighttime, like last night, I got home around 5:20. It was lovely. I made Nebraska steaks, had some Nebraska milk, had some fresh sourdough bread, Nebraska sweet corn. Oh, it was lovely. And then we went on a walk, and my calves got mad, and the babies said, let's go the long way. And I went, okay, fine. So we went the long way and then we took baths. And then, I try to like read a book or watch a show or do the dishes, but usually I just sit on the couch and fall asleep. And then I'm like, oh yeah, shoot, I fell asleep. And then I go to bed and then I wake up and do it again.
I'm totally wowed. I have a couple of questions.
Okay.
Your last busy day in practice, how many people did you adjust?
The busiest ever was 90 some. Last Saturday was the busiest Saturday I've had in a long time. I only had patients for 2 hours and 15 minutes and I made my mortgage. So that was pretty good.
Right. Wow. Um, if you were to give one piece of advice to practitioners of all trades on how to experience more joy in practice, what would it be?
Authenticity and living in the moment. So, like, whatever your craft is, whatever you would choose and do for your own kid or yourself or your family, that that's what you would do. So, when you're in there in practice, if a patient needs that, try to see the patient as one of your family members and say, if you were my mother, if you were my sister, this is what I would do because that's what you would do. And then they'll just be like, oh, okay, then just take great care of me. So, that's the authenticity part. Just don't hesitate. And and be confident, because you have to be sure what you're doing is right or you wouldn't be doing it. And also living in the moment. Like, I don't have a plate anymore, Jody. I have a platter, and I try to wear one hat at a time. So, like this morning, I'm a podcast interviewee, and that's the hat I'm wearing. And then I'll go be a doctor, and then I'll go be a yoga student, and then I'll go be a mom, and but one at a time. And it helps because my husband stays at home with the children, so I can fully let that responsibility go, so that I can fully be present at work. And then when I get back home, fully be present at home.
You're a force to be reckoned with. How does that make you feel when you hear that?
I don't know. I like there's so much more to do is what I feel.
Right. I feel the same way. You're a visionary. And have you studied the EOS system?
I don't think so.
Ooh, we're going to talk after this podcast. All right. I'm going to read back to you a couple of the Kimisms that you dropped today.
Oh, no.
And if
Okay.
there's anything else that you're like, I have to say this thing, then say it.
Okay.
All you need is the power that's in your hands. What's popular is not always right. What's right is not always popular. Smooth dance. I don't ask for permission. I ask for forgiveness. Trust takes time. Steal some snuggles. Play at nighttime. Authenticity of living in the moment. Try to see the patient. You have to be sure that what you are doing is right. One hat at a time. Anything else?
I mean, if you're doing something at home or not doing something at home for yourself and your family, and you don't say that in practice or at your office, and then you have that feeling of slight regret or of, if I did that again, I should have said that, listen to it. Because it drives me crazy when doctors, providers, practitioners are almost two-faced of sorts with the choices at home versus the choices in their office.
Right. I understand that, though. I understand being really stuck in my personal life and crushing it in practice. That's been true for me over the past 25 years. I've had years where I would go home and just fall apart, right? And because it wasn't always easy. It was always beautiful. I was always spot on with my chiropractic practice. Like, that's the easy part. My practice is my practice is the easy part because I get to go be a chiropractor. Like, how can you not love that? And I feel like if you don't love it, you shouldn't be doing it, right? Especially, I feel that way about all wellness professions. If you're truly going to the office to help people have a better expression of who they are on the planet, and you don't love doing it, please do something else, because then you're going to disturb the way that happens. And that's not fair to the person who's looking for the care. If I have a sign on my door that says chiropractor, which I do, and I don't love doing that thing, I need to find something else to do. That's just my own personal opinion, right? So with that being said, one of the things that I've evolved into is the owner of a marketing agency. And it's really good. That's the irony, is that we are crushing it. And we take people like you, Kim, and we say, let's make everything one click ready. And let's get your voice and your authentic talent and your authentic expression in front of everybody you want it in front of. And let's do it without any of the work being on your plate. We're going to do it all for you. We're going to do it well. We're going to have the white glove service that we were talking about earlier. And there are people who knock on my door and land on my schedule who are like, I'm just not quite sure. I don't know. What would you say to them?
I mean, if I could clone myself and have someone do it for me, that would be ideal. And so if you can individualize it, which you do, for the person and use what they want with what you have to make a rocket ship of an explosion happen in their business. I mean, duh, you totally should. I feel like you are trustworthy and full of joy so much that handing something over to you would not feel as hesitant as it would someone else.
I love that. One of the things that we're doing right now is we're putting together a program for industry leaders and people who are really successful in practice, where I go to a 5-star experience with them for 3 days, and we lock ourselves in the beautiful conference room and we bang it out. We get it done. And then we spend the next few months integrating all of the ideas and processes and concepts. And we just splash love all over. Because right now, that's what people need. People need love. They need connection. They need to know that there's no question if you walked in Kim's office, your experience would be what you just experienced in the past 28 minutes. Kim is Kim every single place that she goes, including her craziness on social media. That's Kim, right? If you can find your rhythm, your song, your dance, and find a way to celebrate it so that it's consistent throughout, you'll never have to do another ad again. That's my own opinion. Anything else that you want to share with our podcast listeners, Kim?
No, I think you pretty much summed it up. A lot of times, what's lacking is just the confidence in yourself. And if you don't have time to do the things that need to be done to tell the world that you build it so they will come, I mean, there you go.
There you go. All right, y'all. Go make the world better with great care, and we'll talk soon. Kim, don't go anywhere.
Yes, ma'am.